I was down today by Tampa, I-75, where they have the large Confederate flag. And actually I need to correct that on the video, because I thought it was a 100-foot flagpole and a 20 by 30-foot flag. It's actually a 139-foot 6 inches, basically a 140-foot flagpole with a 30-foot height with 50-foot flag. Little kitty cat down here. So I got to correct that on the video, but it's a whole memorial. It's got a lot of different things on here. It's like granite stones. There's actually a lot of work to be done to maintain the site. It's got 3 large floodlights that point up at the flag. It's very visible from I-75 and I-4. It's an interchange, I-75 and I-4. You can see it from both, in both directions on I-75. And it's not exactly off. It's right next to I-75, but there's no exit there. So you got to make a couple turns to get into the area where it is. It's actually a memorial. It's not just a flagpole. And I detail it a little bit in the video. And it's maintained by the Sons of Confederate Veterans Mechanized Calvary, the SCVMC. So I was down there, and I'm in the SCVMC, and also, I got to work on my bike. I drove down there. That was one thing. They said it was okay. If I was required to ride down there, I would have took the grease gun and injected grease into the wheel bearings up in the front, because I need to do some minor maintenance on that bike, wheel bearings and tires and stuff. I don't think there would have been a problem, but if you're going 75, 80 miles an hour down there, it's blazing heat. I still don't think there was a problem, but I just wanted to play a little extra safe. I just felt that I just didn't want anything to go wrong when I was going down this way to pick up the patch. I didn't want anything going wrong, so took the damn car. So I kind of felt stupid doing that, but I'm gonna get this patch sewed on today. It's very difficult sewing on leather. I might be able to sew it on this one. This is my concealed carry vest, but I noticed that with this, it's gonna be nice and easy to center it in here. It was kind of difficult to center the patch Confederate flag on my leather jacket. I measured a couple times. Actually, I had to cut the threads a couple times. And I'm going to leave this real simple. I'm not going to put Hagaco gasoline underneath the Sons of Confederate Veterans patch. But what I'm going to do, probably is a little bit different. I'm going to put the word freedom up there. This came from Russian Patches. I believe it's RussianPatches.com or something like that. I know it had to come from the Republic of Federation of Russia, excuse me. And I never saw a patch like that, and it's kind of subdued. It's not, it's not taken away from this, but I want people to understand the Confederacy was about breaking away, and it's financial freedom. States' rights is telling you part of the reason. Financial freedom is really telling you the whole reason. I also have on the front of here the Sons of Confederate Veterans patch, and Cooter's Garage, because I'm half mechanic sometimes. So this is my concealed carry vest, and I got my concealed carry permit now too. So that's going on there. We'll get this patched up today. I'll be working on that. One thing I'm going to have to watch out for is I got to get on. I have no problem making it for a day run, but I'm running a Confederate cat farm here. See? My little cats. It's Feather to Mommy on the right and Onyx on the left. I won't hit the horn in here because they'll scare them. I'll do it on the other one here, Suzuki. And we're going to be getting, I'm almost 100% certain I'll be getting a 40-foot flagpole. Now that flagpole, I thought it was 100 feet, because usually, who the hell gets a flagpole 100 feet? No, he's really 140 feet. So, get this one here. It's a little slower when the engine's not running, but it works. So, it's 139 feet 6 inches. That's the flagpole. That's by I-75. Sometimes they had a 40 by 70 flag up there. And here's a little meow meow food up here. And right now it's huge though. I mean, you want a flagpole, a flag, when you have the width or the height. Let's see the height, not the length. I guess you could call it, width being the height. The height. In other words, up and down part of the flag. The part that goes along the pole. You don't want the flag to be any more than 20% the size of the pole. So if you got a 25-foot pole, you can go up to 5 by 8 because 5 feet is 20% of 25 feet. So if you got a 100-foot pole, you really want to go, 20 by 30 or 20 by 32, I guess that would be. So they got a 140-foot pole. So a 120-foot pole, you could do a 30 by 50. That's what he's got. And sometimes they ran a 40 by 60, I think it was, or 40 by 70. I forgot what he said, man. But it's a 30 by 50 up there right now. And I thought it was a 20 by 32 because I was assuming it was a 100-foot pole because I was thinking, 100 feet is usually what, I guess they go up a lot higher than that. So it's a huge pole. And I knocked on it and went, I said, wow, I bet you this is made out of steel. Yeah, and it felt like when you're knocking on the pole, the flagpole itself, it felt like you're knocking on one of the railroad rails or something. It's that thick of steel. It's probably a half inch of steel, but it's got brick. I don't know. It's like, well, you'll see what it is in the video. And again, I'll actually put it in the video that to correct it, the right size flag and everything. And one problem I got, like I said, is getting out of here for more than a couple of days is these little meow meows and stuff. But these guys are okay. I have her inside a lot now. Him, I don't leave him in overnight while I'm sleeping. He's a great little cat, but he jumps on my head, and when he doesn't jump on my head, he just kind of jumps all over the place. And here's Paws. There's Paws. That's one of Feather's kittens, the one with the bushy tail. That's Feather. They all got kind of bushy tails now, though. That was little Onyx back in June. It's the end of September. He was about this big. I mean, he was a gerbil. I mean, he looked like a little mouse. He's almost as big as Mama right now. And Paws is about as big as Mama. Dixie's around here somewhere. He looks like Boots the Confederate cat. So, anyway, that's the one thing I gotta find a way to get out of here and watch watch the cats. But I am going to get, I don't know what's going to go possibly wrong, but I should be getting the 40-foot flagpole, which weighs 320 pounds. It'll be coming from Orlando. And this place with the big super duper, when that flag must have weighed like tons. That flagpole, when because you go from a 35-foot flagpole, it's 185 pounds. You go to a 40-foot, you go 5 feet higher, right? It's 320 pounds. That much more. You go to a 50-footer, it's 550 pounds. I don't know what that thing must have weighed, like, 9 tons. The one that brought in, the one that's down there by I-75, that thing is huge. But I think a lot of people get overwhelmed with, the size of doing a project like that. I definitely couldn't do a project like that, but I'll do a project I'll get this one a little bit bigger, and I'm going to probably put the Bonnie Blue on this, and the 40-footer is going to go a little too more to the front. And I am going to be riding around with this patch on, too. I was a little bit worried about, I don't care if, somebody's, people getting crazy sometimes, you can't wear the freaking flag. Well, that makes it more fun. Have you seen any rubs that ride Harleys that ride with this flag? Nope. That's what makes it more fun, anyway. Well, here it is, Saturday morning. I don't know, it's September 28th or 29th or whatever it is. Confederate Memorial Park. Here's the 100-foot tall flagpole. I think that's a 20 by 32 flag up there. Right off of I-4 and Route Interstate 75. Of course, I took my car because I didn't change my tires on my bike yet. So I don't trust blasting down a turnpike. Confederate Memorial Park, established and dedicated 2009. There's a lot of work to be done in this park because you look at You know, you got to trim all the hedges and maintain it. Just a lawn. The way things grow here in Florida, believe me. General Jubal Early, Camp 556. From what I read about General Early, he was a general that really did not give. You know, after the war between the states, he was actually not going along with the Union, basically. And when you think about not going along with the Union, that's like not going along with the United Nations too. National sovereignty, states' rights, all goes together. Division Commander James Davis, I'll be entrusting the members to maintain the grounds and flags in its honorable mission. I'll be meeting him here today. Well, that's a big flagpole, that's for sure. God. And you got the Bonnie Blue right there in the middle. The first Confederate flag. You know, I'm not recognizing what that flag is, though, to tell you the truth. Ancestor wall with ancestors. This is a nice site. This was not cheap, too, to put this up here. This site is dedicated by the Florida Division Sons of Confederate Veterans, April 25th, 2009, to the soldiers, sailors, and Marines of the Confederate States of America, 1861-1865, ongoing, continuing, even to this present day, 2018, one way or the other, who fought, died, and bled and died in defense of their homeland against ruthless invasion, which was really what it was, who strove to protect America's birthright of constitutional liberty and freedom dating from 1776. And if you look at the changes to the Confederate Constitution, like I enumerated many of them, some other things on the videos, no omnibus spending bills, term limits on the president, line item veto power for the president, limits on infrastructure spending. You needed 2/3 of both houses to increase appropriations, not a mere majority. The states had more power to impeach federal officials working in their jurisdiction. So the site is also dedicated to 9 million people of the southern states who in the struggle for states' rights and independence suffered and sacrificed all. It actually, a lot of this is going to become very apparent in the near future, because as we go over the cliff with $21 trillion of debt, which despite Donald Trump and his MAGA promises, it's going to be $28 trillion of debt. You're going to find out why fiscal responsibility is very important. If you want to destroy an individual, destroy him financially. You want to destroy a company, get him upside down in debt. You want to destroy a nation, make them a debtor nation. We're the largest debtor nation. So, you know, the Confederate Constitution, despite what everybody disparages the Confederate cause about, was all about fiscal responsibility, not just states' rights, but the fiscal responsibility is putting checks and balances on that great vacuum cleaner, which is the taxation system of the central authority, which the big money powers seem to like to use to their advantage all the time. First national flag of the Confederacy, that's the one that confused everybody, because it looks like the American Union flag, you know, because it's got stripes on it. You're out there in the battlefield, a lot of smoke and cannon fire going off and noise, and you're looking, is that our guys or the other guys? I don't know. So they went to this. Basically, it's, you know, the cross is St. Andrew or the Scottish cross. This actually is more proper. This is one you see all the time, the Confederate Naval Jack or the Army of Tennessee. I personally like the third national flag too a lot, but the one that really sticks out the most is the battle flag. That one up there. This is a big, holy smokes. That's pretty solid, whatever's in there, man. That's probably like an inch thick, easy. Battle of Natural Bridge, that's what we were talking about yesterday. That was the only time, well, that was the second to last, I think, major battle in the Confederacy, I believe it was. It was defended, it was like just south of Tallahassee, defended Tallahassee from the Union invaders. And Tallahassee was the only Confederate state capital that wasn't captured in the war. So it goes on and has CSS Florida, Hispanic Veterans, Judah P. Benjamin, who was the Sometimes you call him, it's Route 92 behind me, so there's a lot of road noise here. He was sometimes called the brains of Confederacy. It's Jewish. Black Confederates, and multinational. Oh, Stan Wadey, Cherokees. Yeah, he was the highest ranking American Native Indian in either the Union or the Confederacy. Actually, he was the last one to surrender. What's called Oklahoma today was called the Indian Territory back in the time. And most of the Cherokees went along with the Confederacy because they knew the Confederacy would honor their agreements more than the Union would. So, of course, General Robert E. Lee. So, see if I'll make another clip here pretty soon. But I gotta find out what that flag is. I'm not familiar with every single flag there is, I guess. I thought I was. See that? I don't know. There's something I don't know. So, yeah, charge to the Confederate Jet. This is the Sons of Confederate Veterans. In other words, they're smearing what the Confederacy is about because the big money likes to, cover up their tracks with nice sounding things. Just like the big money usually likes to use philanthropy as a cover story. Yeah, I make big money and steal from everybody, and I give back a nickel for every freaking $1,000 I steal. That's kind of like how it works with everything. You always got to have a great sounding reason for whatever you do something. So they smear, for the war for total financial control, which is really probably the best way to describe the northern invasion of the South. Preserve the revenue, preserve the Union, which means preserve the revenue. So they make the South look as evil as possible. But either way, honestly, nobody's perfect. But to you, Sons of Confederate Veterans, we commit the vindication of the cause for which we fought. To your strength, we will be given the defense of the Confederate soldier's good name, the guardianship of his history, the emulation of his virtues, the perpetuation of those principles which he loved and which you love also, and those ideals which made him glorious, which you also cherish. Lieutenant General Stephen Dill Lee, Commander General, United Confederate Veterans, 1906. That's when it was United Confederate Veterans. And of course, I had to go to Sons of Confederate Veterans because there's no longer any Confederate veterans left. And it seems to be that after the Confederate veterans died, that's when they really started pushing all the lies. If you notice that, it was like in the 50s. Hey, no problem. There's no problem with Confederate flags anywhere. It's a big flag. God. I'm assuming this is made out of steel too. It's not aluminum. The thing must have weighed tons. So, and here's the sponsors. And I'm just telling you how you got the lawn maintenance here, and you got flag maintenance. The flag's got to be repaired. The flag's got to be sewn up. It's a lot of work involved. And that up there is Interstate I-4. So people going by see this flag of peace, love, and hope, and limited government, and putting the brakes on the Mr. MAGA Donald Trump ain't going to be able to stop the spending, but the Confederate Constitution could. It's not all about a person, it's about principles. So the lights, you got one right there, you got one back there, and one here. So those are big, I don't know what those are, but they're powerful, they look powerful, so they shine up on that flag. Yeah, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attachments, so it's it's held up nice, and it revolves around. It's got a revolving truck. I don't know how the hell that works, to tell you the truth, man. I guess you just pulled up from the top, and it's somehow it's weighted on the bottom. It keeps it straight down. I don't know, the flag I'm getting is going to be a little 40-footer. I guess it's going to go less than halfway up there, but still be pretty big. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that damn thing up myself. Order of the Confederate Rose, Florida Society, Dio Vindici, which means God is not my defender. It means, oh wait a minute, that's what it means. It doesn't mean God is my vindicator. It means God is my defender. That's what the Latin means. Man, there must have been a lot of work put going into this puppy, man. God. So. So you got, you got to maintain, these flags. You have to maintain that huge flag. You have to maintain the grounds, which you can see the grass has been cut, or it's all the hedges. You got to maintain the lights. This is some. Could be marble too. Good. But I think sometimes people, they see a site like this and they want to replicate a site like this, and they see the cost and they say, oh, it's too much. So they don't do anything. But the point is, do something. Like, to me, putting up a 40-foot flag is going to be a major expense. And it's not going to be physically easy to do that. Hopefully I'll have that up by Christmas with my Christmas lights. But it's something. It's something. But put up, get yourself a 20-foot pole, stick it 3 feet in the ground. You got a 17-foot flagpole. Stick your, put something up like one of these right here, especially like the Army of North Virginia flag or the Army of Tennessee flag. And these flags cost you $10. I mean, I put out where I went to Lowe's and get the concrete, you get some fence posts, like something like that stuff there to galvanize. And instead of using the cleat and the halyard, or the halyard's the line, the cleat and the pulley, use a couple eye bolts, and for the halyard, which is the rope, use just some paracord. And it winds up, with the flag, it only runs you $50, including the concrete. So it can be done. It's just a lot of people are just lazy. That's a problem. Lazy people. So, yeah. And it costs money to, run all this stuff. Got a little electric outlet right there, so that runs these lights. I don't know what they cost per month, but they cost something. Electricity's not free. But if you put up a little pole like that, like one of my little poles has the solar lights on it. Looks like a round flying saucer thing attached to the top of the pole, and the lights shine down, right? So it doesn't really light up the flag that great, but it works, But the thing is, it's maintenance free. It actually survived Hurricane Irma, so it's pretty strong. It was only like $20 to put that up there, so it wasn't much. The beauty of these little poles is you can, if you got some kind of crazy problem where the flag got stuck or something, or whatever, not that happens, you can dig up the ground and put them on like an angle and bring the pole down. Like this one, I don't know how you have to get a crane in here. You ever had a problem with something getting stuck? But I don't think you would, because it's internal. And this thing, I don't think this has a rope in here. It's probably got a steel cable that lifts that thing up. It's pretty cool. It's flying nice. It's out there. So, you're coming in from that way, you can see that really good. See it like coming in. Might see some trucks up there. Pretty wild.